to move around. And really in Virginia, you got to get out of Virginia as much as possible because crabs in a barrel. I mean, everything they say stereotypical about Virginia is true. That's why they say it. You know what I'm saying? They got to love you somewhere else before they even listen to you here.
But isn't it really like that anywhere, though?
No.
It's not?
No, I don't think so. I think that like markets like Atlanta, for example, like they're the number one on paper, the number one place for a creative to live and for an indie artist on that level to live with the greatest opportunity of actually moving forward and being successful. And that was based off a study of really how much money does the government put into the arts in that state. Like they actually have support systems, they have funding, they have grants, they have all that. We don't have that here. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I'm working on with Creatives for Virginia and Keena Carson, and going to the Capitol and actually speaking to our representatives. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that every creative can and should be doing. Like if they really want a better chance to move forward, like you need a budget. And if you don't have the money, then you got to find it somewhere. So you either got to find someone who loves you a lot or really just believes in your vision, or you got to, go to organizations that have funding, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then places like Atlanta, other cities, they have that.
Yeah. Well,
and they have support for each other from you know what I'm saying? And they have a sound or whatever that people want to say. It's they have their own sound or whatever. But really what they do is they support each other. Like I've been in these cities a lot and you see nothing but like constant like love and collaboration and support across the board, where here it's like the moment, like Gifted Hands is amazing, and he could have very Virginia easily gotten super conceited, and you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm the shit and I'm viral and I got all these followers and I got look at these celebrities that are posting on he's not like that. He's very humble, and he's a good example of how artists who, get a little taste of what could happen, like need to continue to work. But most artists in this area don't do that, and they don't even make it anywhere near that far before their ego is already bigger than their work ethic. And
those people fall off quick though. They don't go much further than that, like you said.
No, they don't, but they don't leave. It's not like because they think that they're really good and they're doing something, so they're still out here kind of being, like we've got so much of that. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I feel like we got off base. I'm not even sure.
No. I'm definitely listening. I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Also in Atlanta, I've definitely heard like that is a great place to blow up, especially in hip hop. I always assumed that it was because a lot of people are successful there. They might have there's successful people there in this game already. So that's what it was. I never really heard anybody say it was because of the government funding. What do you know, any services, or what is the government putting money into specifically in Atlanta?
I don't know about Atlanta, but I can tell you what they're not doing in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a study done, and I learned this actually at Creatives for Virginia, part of one of the segments that they did at Prime 255 during Something in the Water. One of the guys on the panel, he actually works in that part of government on the state level, and said there was a study done of the 10 best and 10 worst cities to live as a creative in this country. And the 757, like our area had 3 out of the 10 worst cities to live in. What do you think was the second worst city to live in?
Second worst?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Newport News?
Yes. Second worst in the country to live in as a creative is the city that we're in right now. And the third worst is Chesapeake. And then
what was first?
Or was it Virginia? No, it was I don't know, it wasn't 757, but it was like Virginia, no, it was Newport News, Virginia Beach was like second and third, and then Chesapeake was like 10th. Worse. That's 3 out of the 7 cities
How
here.
is Virginia Beach worse than Chesapeake? I would say they got that one wrong. I would much rather live in Virginia Beach than Chesapeake.
Because that study was based on how much money does the government
allocate towards creative,
allocate into that. Even includes like museums.
I get what you're saying. I guess I'm thinking of just like
places like the Vibe District that
those,
get funding as nonprofits and that sort of thing. So that was the basis of that criteria. Was not necessarily it's based off of that. What we're talking about government funding.
So what are they not doing in Virginia?
And Atlanta was the first. That was the top one. They're not putting any money into it. They don't
But like into what? I'm trying to say like what could they? What should they put their money into right now?
We're businesses. If you're a creative and you're handling yourself like you actually want to do this and make money with it and be successful, then you need to recognize you're a business. You should have an LLC or like a nonprofit, you know, it's easier to get, you know, grant funding, but there's nonprofits like what we're working on. When we are you do you have you heard of Creators for Virginia? Do you know Keena Carson?
I don't think so.
Keena Carson is actually the co-chair of the Recording Academy, which is the Grammys in the DMV DC chapter. She's works with Pusha T's label Airwave, does PR. She works with R&B Block Party with Famlay and Izzy the DJ, you know, taking that from Norfolk Scope to Something in the Water to Vegas, and has been working in the music industry for more than 15 years, from like street team for Famlay and all of them with Star Trek here back in the day to Chicago. Like she's worked with celebrity nonprofit organizations. The celebrities a lot of money. They create a nonprofit so that, you know, one, they can give back to the community. But what she learned was how much of those big organizations where are moving a lot of money are very much tapped into the local government and working with and paying attention to local policy.